I said, plug me in. I got stuff to talk about, damn it. I'll crawl out of my earbuds once a week to give you a show. That's what I do, folks. I do this show for the common man, for the people in despair. I bring this show into the world and I sell it everywhere. The simple truth lies waiting here, folks, for all of you to share. Hold on, I will take you there.
What's happening, Mike? Question, man, what the hell happened to us? Lily and I were a team. We used to be like the Master Blaster, her up on my shoulders, and it came at you with a fucking two-fisted, four-fisted extravaganza of comedy. Like a chicken fight. Every week was a chicken fight. I put you on my shoulders, you put whoever you wanted on your shoulders, and we had a goddamn chicken fight of comedy for 3 hours. And now, what the fuck is going on? I am, like, I'll tell you this, though. I will say this. I'm living proof that this medium can be done by anybody, anywhere, at any time, using any equipment you can fucking scrounge up. Because I used to, look, I do care about how this show sounds. Certainly, I always did care, and I was lucky enough to enlist the help of a radio producer for centuries who came in and jumped in to help me out. I had a friend named Eric who came to my house with a fucking briefcase full of blues, and he opened it up, he had a handcuff to his goddamn microphone, and he put me on the air, and everything was fine. And we moved on. Everything was good. I was doing shows. They were professional. And I mean, because I'm a nobody, man. Let's face it. I am fucking nobody. In this, even in this medium, where there's like 9 somebodies, so I guess maybe I shouldn't feel so bad about being. Well, no, fuck that. There's more than 9 somebodies. Now this is catching on. Dude, dude, last week I was with Jill last week, and I looked at my Twitter feed. Where were we? Were we at an airport? Where the fuck were we? Yeah, we were in an airport because we were picking up her son. He had gone on a baseball trip, and I'm standing there. I started flipping through my Twitter, and I fucking froze. Because I saw that Mark Maron had Mick Jagger on his fucking show. and it just, you know what it did to me? Immediately, podcasting was legitimized in that instant. And I know that sounds stupid because other guys have had big guys. You know, Jimmy's got John Hamm as a fucking regular guest. Conan O'Brien's on all the fucking time. Other shows have had big guests. My friend Pat has had Susanna Hoffs and really big musical guests as well. But you've got to be, come on, dude. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger, I feel like Jeremy Piven in fucking Grosse Pointe Blank. 10 days, 10 years. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger is always my go-to guy when I talk about like if everybody would want to know what celebrity was, I would point out Mick Jagger. Literally, I think he is the living definition of the word celebrity because he is a guy who could walk into any room and stop it. Fucking stop it. Like a nuclear bomb going off and stopping watches for fucking miles around, states around. Mick Jagger is a walking time bomb. He's a walking nuclear bomb. Because he would walk in, he has his own electromagnetic field. Because he would just come in and fucking change everything. He would reverse polarity. He would do it all. As a matter of fact, Mick Jagger is the secret of the island of Lost. I don't know if you know that, folks. When it boils right down to it, you wonder why those people were there and what the hatch was doing and all those fucking lottery numbers? Those lottery numbers, that was actually the addresses for Mick Jagger's apartments that he had when they were recording Sticky Fingers. I don't know if you know that.
I think that's
No, it's
true.
totally true. Mick Jagger fucking gets it done. And that's the stupid thing to say ever. He's not a fucking football player. He's not a boxer. He's not a blue collar in the least. Or actually, in the old days he was. To me, Mick Jagger is celebrity because I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to be in a room with Mick Jagger. I will tell you this, I have 2 friends. Actually, I have a relative, my mom, and then my friend Bob Gillespie.
Mom banged Mick Jagger?
No, my mom did not bang Mick Jagger. That's a story. Let me ask you this. How do I bury that 7 years later? If my mom fucks Mick Jagger, that's the opening story of the podcast. And quite frankly, maybe the final story of the podcast. I drop the microphone and walk off on that goddamn story. By the way, it sounds like I may have dropped the microphone this week if you are paying attention at home. We were talking about the sound quality a little earlier before we get into Jagger. Well, remind me. You know what, Lily, remind me to talk about the sound quality a little later.
I'm louder than you. There's something really wrong with this mic.
I don't.
Hold on.
You sure? We're going to check it out?
Hi. I think we fixed this.
Oh, it's fixed.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't let it go uncommented upon.
Oh, no, I think we can.
No, because I genuinely, we didn't do anything. We didn't change anything. You put it into different input there. You moved it to a different slot, and then all of a sudden it seemed to be okay. But it wasn't. We had to do like 4 different voice checks to make sure.
I give up. I'm retiring soon
Yeah.
from everything.
Well, we'll get to
I'm
that
crawling
later.
under the covers
Yeah.
and hoping that my butler doesn't quit.
Join me.
I don't have a butler.
My view from under the covers is just, it should be shared, quite frankly.
I can't crawl under the covers until I get out from under all the audio, is what I posted last week. I'm feeling that way right now.
Okay. Yeah. Because I sent you. There was a bunch of chunks last week. All right. So I'm a little trepidatious. I will not lie
You
because
sound great. The file looks great. Everything is where it needs to be right now. Let's talk about your mom fucking Jagger.
why are you shouting at me?
Because I want to hear about your mom fucking Jagger.
You are really. I mean, you know what's funny? Earlier you were talking and the microphone was picking you up louder. So now you're realizing that the microphone's not. So now you're shouting as if you want to be louder again.
No, I'm just thrilled about your mom fucked Mick Jagger.
She didn't.
What?
She just gave me a hand job. So again, that's a story I tell immediately. How do you not? No. My mom saw Mick Jagger in a club in Chicago. He joined Coco Taylor on stage and and sang. So and my friend Bob Gillespie, that just happened to him like a month ago, I think. He was in a club and Mick Jagger stopped in and joined some blues band on stage. And I can tell you this, that is something that will never happen in my lifetime. Because if I'm ever in a club watching a blues band, honestly, someone's dreaming or I'm having a nightmare. It's one of those two things. You're either having a dream that you met me in a blues club, or I'm having a nightmare, because it's just, there is no way I wander into a blues club unless I'm asking for directions to find out where my woman done went. That's the only reason I would go into a blues club. Seriously, I don't have any interest in it. I don't like any blues music. Not like, I don't know, because to me, I don't have a. You know how some people have like they're a super taster. I am not a super hearer. I think a super hearer would like blues music because he can tell the difference between it. I can't, dude. Any black dude from Mississippi with a guitar sounds like another black dude from Mississippi with a guitar. I don't care. I don't care if they own shoes, they don't own shoes, they're at the crossroads. I don't fucking know. All I know is I'm not on board. Now I'm worried because like there's that noise where the truck's backing up, and I'm wondering if that's getting picked up by the microphone. Dude, the first 3 minutes of this podcast are fucking weird. That's like backwards Koyaanisqatsi stuff, man, where it's like night is day and everything's upside down and no one knows what's going on, and Jim Garrison's going to come in here and tell us we're through the looking glass people. I don't know what happened there. It was like Lily was loud and I was not, but the microphone was in my face, and Lily's far across the room where she usually is. So I don't know how the fuck that happened, because I was going to talk about the fact that I sounded like I was talking into a salad bowl. I mean, it literally, because we heard some of the sound checks and it wasn't going to go. And at this point, we are so, I don't fucking get it. Like, that's what I was saying early on. I'm like, we're the guys who just, we kind of do the show, and we're the, I don't know if we're the spunky underdog or we're the fucking guys nobody likes. I don't know what the fuck you want to call us. But there are other shows out there that are huge and they have networks, and I would kind of tease them and I talk about them, but they at least have facilities, I suppose, where this shit doesn't happen.
I had to take all of it apart, and I don't know if maybe I didn't put it back together. I don't know. Fuck!
Agreed.
That's usually your line.
That it is. I don't know, man. I'm a little... so, and again, I don't know if the listener himself is at home going, man, how many times are you going to recount the sound quality here, dude? But I mean, every week it's a different fucking misadventure with the sound. It's, you know, it's either like fucking weird clicking, or I'm on a phone somewhere, or this week I sound like a goddamn Martian from a 50s science fiction movie talking into a goddamn glass bowl over my head. Huh?
It was kind of fun, though.
Well, it was fun for a few minutes until you laughed once, and I think the computer exploded, because you are enjoying yourself and having a good time far away, but that sounded like you were like, it was like you were right up on the microphone. Like we had a weird switch to the dynamic. It's like, you know what, we're going to give Lily the mic this week, and I'm going to go ahead and talk in the background, and we'll see how that works out. And we did it for 3 minutes and decided probably not going to work out. This is not called the 40-year-old stripper. It's called the 40-year-old boy. We didn't want to switch it up. I mean, we want to do the 40-year-old stripper. Maybe we bring you in. We bring you in next week. Give you a new microphone.
50-year-old.
No, I'm not telling anybody.
Close.
No, we're in neighborhood. See, I don't know why. We know how old you are. You're on Facebook and all that stuff. And we had your birthday party. We actually talked about it in here. I don't know why. See, I don't even know why people, because I knew a guy at one time. All right, I'll tell you this story for no reason at all. It's not even a story. It's an anecdote. We moved here to California. And we were acting and doing comedy, all that stuff. And out of the blue, all of a sudden, my older brother Lenny was like 2 years younger than me in his bio. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I have another friend out there who I'm not going to mention, but he got young kind of quick. That's all I'll say. But I got a couple of friends out there who I would like to see their driver's licenses. That's all I'll say. I don't know. And look, maybe it's working for them. That's fine. But one of them is like fucking gray. Like this dude has gray hair and he's like, hi, I'm 21. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how that works. Why don't you get on your scooter and drive home with your lollipop? But I mean, seriously, you have gray hair. You do realize that, right? You have a head full of goddamn gray hair. And dude, I'll tell you this, my gray is fucking crazy gray now because it grew in, because I've been shaving the sides and the back of my head just because, and not because of any particular reason. I'm certainly not on the run or on the lam from the law, but I liked it that way. So I was shaving my head and then I let it grow out and it kind of grew out, over the course of like 6 weeks. And Jill and I were in Vegas, and I looked in the mirror and I went, whoa, because we were out at the pool all day, and so I got color in my face. And then just because I usually have just gray in my temples, dude, now it's like starting to go around, like all the way kind of, I'm going to have like that, like almost like a reverse bowl cut of just gray. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to start going, I'll start, how I look like? I look like Quicksilver from Marvel Comics. That's for 2 people out there who are listening to the show. They're going to know exactly who that is. And it's a guy who has like this gray that goes like through the sides of his head. And look, I still look fucking amazing. I'm not going to lie to you. I look really good, especially with the gray hair. It's kind of distinguished. And believe me, if anybody needs to look distinguished, it's me at this point. God knows I'm not doing it on my own with anything I've done or said. So maybe I can pull it off with gray on the temples. People look at me and just be like, hey, that fucking dork is old. Instead of just being a dork, I guess. So I mean, last week when I saw that Marin had Jagger, I was like, oh my Christ. That was it. I like shut it down now. There's no reason to even do this, at least for the professional dudes. I mean, who's a bigger get? Who is a bigger fucking get than Jagger? Really? Seriously, I want to know, do you really think Barack Obama's a bigger get than Mick Jagger? I don't think so. I don't see it. And Bill Simmons had Obama on his podcast, but Bill Simmons has all the ESPN machine behind him and all that kind of stuff. Mark Maron's in a garage. And it's so funny. When I read the tweet, in my head I went, well, I know fucking Jagger didn't go to the garage. That's not happening at all. Huh?
Why not?
Why the fuck would he? He can't. Because Mick Jagger can't go anywhere where there's less than 1,000 people, because otherwise he sucks all of the air out of the room and everybody dies because he's a fucking machine. Well, because he has to bring 1,000 people with him everywhere he goes. That's how it works. Honestly, I've often said I would not want to be in a room. If you were in a room, if you were just like eating dinner somewhere and Mick Jagger walked in, the room would collapse in on itself like a black hole. All of the attention, all of the air, all of the eyes in the room would go right to him. It's like over. And it's because that is a dude who commands 100,000 people at a time. That little tiny, like, he looks like a moth. He's on stage, he's just flitting around. He's jumping around with a cape, and he's got fucking, jeggings on, those weird jean fucking leggings. You ever seen those fucking things? Jill and I see that commercial, and I laugh. I go, I'm buying those for you. And she's like, don't you? Oh, my God, no. And I go, dude, I'm totally buying those for you. They're leggings that look like jeans. God damn, I think they're hysterical. I just wanted to put them on and just walk around with them once. That'll be fucking awesome. What are you making a face?
Well, I'm thinking I think I know who the bigger get is.
Then Jagger?
Prince.
Yeah, but Prince has only been doing it for 30 years, whereas Jagger's been doing it for 50.
Okay.
So I mean, I hear what you're saying, and Prince has done a lot less press than Jagger.
Yeah.
So yes, ostensibly that would be a better get. I don't think
not
it's
necessarily bigger.
I don't think it's a bigger get.
Okay.
And also, you got to be sure that Prince is going to cooperate. You can't have Prince come in and hide behind a veil the entire time, because then your podcast goes to hell. Speaking of, Prince is here. As a matter of fact, Prince has actually done all 7 years of this show. He's just sitting here. I'm waiting. Eventually, he's going to say something. But I mean, the man loves me. He would die for me. So I mean, why not? And I would die for him.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I would certainly jump in and purify myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka if he asked me to. But I would absolutely look for a map to make sure that it was the waters of Lake Minnetonka, because Prince, you are a scamp and you are playing these pranks on people. He is doing a tour, as a matter of fact, Prince is. The Hit and Run Tour. How fucking awesome is that? The Hit and Run Tour. Hey, I'll announce a show in your city like 2 days before I show up, and then that'll be it. Because we were lucky enough to see him here. We saw him on his residency
amazing.
by year 4, I think, or year 5, or whatever it was. I think we fixed the sound. We don't know.
Oh no, the sound is great.
Well, I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's
it's
certainly
great.
not. Look, it's not year 4 levels. Do me a favor, buy year 4 just to hear what a professional show sounds like. Not for any sort of content or anything like that, but go ahead and pick it up that way. Just so you can hear me talking into a microphone and having it sound like a person talking into a microphone instead of a guy shouting through a megaphone like Rudy Valley in the 20s. This isn't Boardwalk Empire. The fuck? Now we're here. We're doing a show. We're at Lily's place, and we finally found time to get together and do a show. I'm not sure if next week she and I are getting together to do a show. Look, Lily's got a very busy schedule these days, folks. She's taken in other people's wash, and she's doing that. She's like Charlie Bucket's mom. Literally, I'm here doing a show and it's just mountains of laundry and she's stirring it with a boat oar while I fucking try to do this show. That's why she sounded so close. Oh, fuck. So we're using the Coxhawk mic and we're in the house. And I will tell you, it's a little different this week because I was able to plug in earbuds, and I hear myself talking, which I like doing. I enjoy hearing myself talking. God knows. That's why this show has continued for 8 fucking years or 7 years or however long it's been. But I'm on a plane again. What?
Year 7.
This is year 7. And our friend Brian asked me, I think I mentioned that on last week's show. Brian's like, is there going to be a year 8? And I was like, I hope so. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All depends on if the microphones cooperate, since it seems to be some sort of rebellion. Go ahead.
So when are you on a plane? Let's figure this out right now.
We're going to look at the
Couldn't be any
schedule.
more interesting than us planning a schedule on air.
Oh, my God. It's so funny. Nobody worries about the sound quality when they turn the fucking show off. I can tell you that.
I still can't believe your mom gave Mick Jagger a hand job.
And with her left hand, too. She was like you. She went side saddle lefty. Yeah. That's from year 3, I think. Jesus God. Here, we're just reminiscing. We're just walking down memory lane now. Because again, podcasting's over. It's done. Fucking Marin got Jagger. And I was so excited. Marin got Jagger. He's got the moves like Jagger, certainly. I was so I was just so excited for him, knowing what kind of a fan he is, and also for this will sound stupid, for podcasting, it just seemed, and it's being legitimized all the time by certain shows and other people choosing to do certain shows. But for Marin to get Mick Jagger, it just seemed like so then it's funny, I texted my buddy Pat, and he and I were talking, because when we went and saw Van Halen, 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, Pat and I were in line, and Pat said, do you think a podcaster will ever have one of those? And it was a star on the Walk of Fame. And I was like, I go, yeah, I think eventually, yeah. I said, and he's like, well, who? And I go, it's Marin. I go, it's got to be Marin. He's going to be the one. I go, he might not have been the first, but he's the one who's risen above to certainly the highest level. He got a television show off of it, and the show is about him being a podcaster essentially and a comedian, and he's fucking good. So why not? So when I saw that he had gotten Mick Jagger, I immediately texted Pat. I said, dude, remember we were talking about who's going to get a star on the Walk of Fame if it was a podcaster? Well, Marin clinched it today. And he said, why? And I go, didn't you see who his guest is today? And he said, it's Drew Feldman or Drew Friedman, right? Who's a cartoonist. And I said, no, Jagger. And Pat wrote back. He goes, oh, no, he didn't get him. They're waiting on a phone call. They wait on a phone call from him. And I went, yeah. And he goes, he didn't go to the garage. It was a phone call. And so fucking what? I mean, I don't see any sort of discernible difference between Jagger. Because, I mean, again, I knew Jagger wasn't coming to the fucking garage. He's not going to go, you know why? I went to the garage, all right? So believe me, Mick Jagger's not going anywhere I've been. He purposely calls ahead to find out if I've been there, and he never shows up. Because he also knows that I never go anywhere that it cannot accommodate 1,000 people. So he's aware of that. So he makes sure he never goes anywhere where I've been. So he wasn't going to fucking show up at the garage. And it doesn't invalidate the get at all, in my opinion. And so I don't listen to my show, let alone other shows, but I wanted to hear that. So I talked to Jill about it. I said, I can't believe he got Mick Jagger. And he said he's getting Keith Richards to call as well. I go, that is gigantic. I go, that's fucking huge. And Jill listens to Mark's show. So she went and listened to it at her work. And then when we were driving me to the airport later, she said, "Hey, do you want to hear Mark with Mick Jagger?" She goes, "It's actually really cute. Like you can hear how excited he is. He's so happy. And Mick Jagger sounds like the nicest guy ever." I said, "Absolutely." So I listened to it. And, and the best part is Maron calls himself out on it. I'm not going to describe it. Go listen to it. But I mean, it's a really cool story. The way Maron sets it up and tells it, and then fucking Mick Jagger calls him, and he winds up interviewing him for I think about 10 minutes or something like that, maybe 10, 12 minutes, and look, again, I haven't listened to Mark's show in a long time, so I'm just going to say this, and maybe I don't know, maybe this guy's always on. I have no idea. But the best part of the interview is, he talks to Mick Jagger, and he's great about it, and then Mark. He does all the right notes. He hits all the right beats, and then he asks him all these questions about Sticky Fingers and touring and things like that. And then at the end, Mark interjects himself into the interview to go, "Hey, look, I saw you in 1981 at Madison Square Garden." Like he fanned out a little bit, and he had to, because you fucking have to, in my opinion. It's fucking Mick Jagger. How could you let the opportunity pass without telling him what he means to you, or what you've seen him do, or how much you like him? And it's funny, later on, Maron busts his own balls over it, and he's just like, yeah, like everybody doesn't fucking do that. And it's like, so fucking what? I don't care. Take the opportunity. When will you ever have the opportunity to talk to fucking Mick Jagger again? Although if you listen to the interview, he might, but I mean, you'll hear it when you hear it. But after he winds up talking to Jagger, he's sitting there with another comedian, a guy named Dean Del Rey. Now, look, I don't know Dean. I don't know anything about him. I know he's Mark's opening act and he's Mark's guy, but but I'm listening to it in the car, and I even turned to Jill and I go, "Who's this guy doing a Mark Maron impression sitting next to Mark Maron?" And she goes, "Well, he's another comedian friend." And when I listened and I heard who he was, because Mark said I had Dean come in and listen on the headphones to the phone call, and then we talked afterwards. He sets it up and tells you what it's going to be. Dude, I don't know who Dean Del Rey is. I'm sure he's very funny, and I'm sure he's a wonderful guy and all that, but the best part is when he and Mark start talking back and forth, it's like Mark sounds like a calm Mark Maron, and Dean Del Rey sounds like it. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a DirecTV podcast commercial with "Hi, I'm Mark Maron," and "Hi, I'm awesome Mark Maron." Like that's what Dean Del Rey sounds like he's trying to do. He basically sounds like he's trying to be. He's talking, and again, that happens sometimes with me and Pardo when we're hanging out together. It's like you fall into each other's cadence. And by each other's, it means I wind up talking like fucking Jimmy a lot of the time, and we wind up going back and forth because we were both kind of quick, and so we wind up kind of finishing each other's sentences, and you wind up doing that. Well, with Mark and Dean, Mark sounds like Mark Maron, and then Dean sounds like, "Yeah, I can be like Mark Maron too," even though he's not. Maybe that's Dean's personality. I don't have any fucking idea, but listening to it, I laughed out loud. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude who's fucking gravy training on being Mark? It sounded like being John Malkovich when they went into Malkovich's head. It's like if you went into Mark Maron's head, that's the Mark Maron voice you would anticipate being inside of his head, the Dean Del Rey voice of Mark Maron. It just sounded fucking strange to me. But the fact that he got Mick Jagger was gigantic to me. I was like, that's it. So, but then Pat was like, "Yeah, no, he didn't go to the garage." Dude, so I don't fucking care at all. Literally, if he had somehow, if fucking Mark Maron had just played the Tattoo You album from back to forth and said, "Yeah, I had Mick Jagger on the show," that's good enough for me as far as I'm concerned. That's close enough. But he actually had him. He talked to him. And, just to hear Mick Jagger go, "Hello, Mark." You know what I mean? Like, you're done. That's it. Your life is made. You're fucking, everything's complete. It's like when I met Eddie. I get to fucking meet Eddie Van Halen and talk to him for a fucking 15 minutes. And I hugged him and told him what he meant to me and all this stuff that was important in my life. I got to fucking tell him that. And the fact that Mark Maron got to do that with Mick Jagger is the greatest. And then wanted to do it with Keith Richards later, too. By the way, I have no idea what a phone interview with Keith Richards is going to sound like. I can't wait to fucking listen to it. Literally, that's enough to get me back on board to listen to Mark, just to try to hear what Keith Richards sounds like on the phone. Can you even think to yourself about Keith Richards? Because again, we think of these guys as gods, as larger than life. We think of Keith Richards with a guitar in his hand, or a cigarette in his mouth, or a fucking needle in his vein. That's the only way we think of Keith Richards.
Wow.
That's it. That's our entire fucking picture of Keith Richards. Literally, guitar in his hand, cigarette in his mouth, needle, a fucking spike in his arm. Other than that, I don't want to know that Keith Richards does anything with his life. Do you want to know that Keith Richards is in a robe eating a bowl of cereal? I don't want to fucking know that. Bullshit. Be larger than fucking life. Keith Richards should be fighting Godzilla. He shouldn't be talking to me about soup. Fuck that. I can't even imagine. So he's going to call Maron. He's going to talk on the phone. Can you imagine like Keith Richards sitting in a hotel suite somewhere and just like, they're like, "All right, this is Mark Maron. He's a podcaster from America." "All right, mate. Hello." Like, what the fuck's he going to do? They hand him a phone. Here's my favorite thing. If I'm going to think of Keith Richards on the phone, it's not going to be a fucking cell phone. He's on like a fucking he's in a TARDIS talking on like a rotary phone. That's what he's fucking doing with his life.
Right, yes.
Because he's Keith Richards. You know what they gave him? They gave him like a Princess Trimline phone from the old days. That's the only, he only uses that. That's his thing. He's like, I only use a Princess phone. I'll need a Trimline phone. And then they go get it because he's fucking Keith Richards. He claps his hand. His fucking Brazilian houseboy goes and finds a Trimline and he fucking talks to Mark Maron in America, wherever the fuck he is. Because that's another thing. Maron says to Jagger, he's like, where are you? I don't want to give away the whole interview. You got to hear it. But he's like, hey, where are you? And Mick tells him where he's at. And you're just like, of course you are. I mean, literally, if he would have said, I'm on the moon, you would have gone, yep, yes you are, because you're Mick fucking Jagger and that's pretty cool and the moon can hold 1,000 people. That's why you're fucking up there, for fuck's sake. So it just made me laugh that my friend Pat is just like, oh yeah, well Mick didn't go to the garage. Like it doesn't count. Like it doesn't, somehow getting Mick Jagger on your show doesn't count unless he physically shows up. To me it doesn't matter. I wouldn't care if Mick mailed him a letter and Mark read it on the air in an English accent. Yeah, that's close enough. Again, that's tenuous, but still a connection to Mick Jagger. As far as I'm concerned, that's a solid get. And that changes everything for me, at least. I mean, because I will be honest, I've seen Mark, he's become this fucking stratospheric star. And and I don't think I'm exaggerating there. Stratospheric seems to be the word that I would absolutely use. So stupid. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on.
I love that you just rolled away.
I did. I rolled away from the microphone. I couldn't, you know what? I'm not even fit to use it any longer. With that kind of hyperbole, you're not allowed to talk into this thing anymore. He's made something of himself. He was a very funny comedian. He's been on Conan a billion times, but the podcast has taken him to places he never thought he'd go. He's got his own show and things like that. And so I lost my train of thought because when I said stratospheric star, I don't know why the fuck I thought about it. I was going to say something very interesting. I'm sure it was very interesting.
Tenuous connection to, I don't know.
Yeah, see, you're not listening either. I don't blame you.
I am. I mean, I get what you're saying, but only if you think Mick Jagger is the end all be all.
For celebrity, he is. Okay, in my opinion. I mean, even if you got like George Clooney or Brad Pitt or, there's no, give me an actor that has been at the top of his game for 50 years.
Jack Nicholson.
That would also be a very good get. And Jack Nicholson has been around as long as Mick Jagger has.
Hoffman.
I told the Dustin Hoffman story on here.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, good. That's a good one. They're making an Expendables television show, and Chuck Norris is going to star in it. It's about time. We've all been waiting.
Oh my god, I almost peed myself laughing.
I literally picture that pitch meeting. Just Sylvester Stallone walks in and there's 5 guys in suits and he just goes, garbage, 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 garbage. And they said, yes, absolutely. Write it up. We want to be in the Sylvester Stallone garbage business.
Oh my god.
How do you pitch the Expendables TV show? Do you walk into the room with a rocket launcher and shit on a table? Literally, that's... And this is from a guy who liked the Expendables, okay? I just don't know if you can wring every last drop of fucking moisture out of this premise. Here's an Expendables TV show. What the fuck is that going to be? Oh, well, we're going to beat up guys every week and wink at one another with knowing wisecracks. Done. I am in. Who's headlining it? Chuck Norris? Of course he is. 77-year-old man. He's tough.
Oh my god.
Let me ask you something. Are he and Christy Brinkley going to sell me a yoga machine at any point when they're beating up the villains?
Oh my god. Fuck.
Tell Chuck we won't be paying him in money. We'll just be giving him his credibility back. Is that going to be possible? Will he take that as a salary? Yes, I know he snuck up on Night and he beat up Darkness or whatever the fuck Chuck Norris did in that meme thing. I know. He's very tough.
What?
But as I pointed out one time before, if only Jet Li were to mark Chuck Norris for death, he would come after him and take him out wherever he was. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to see. I said it a long time ago. I don't even think I said it in this show. I said it on Never Not Funny. You don't even know what that is, do you? Oh my God. I don't know if I should tell this story again. It's not even a story. It's just something I came up with on Never Not Funny. We were talking. And it was like, Chuck Norris, people were talking about how Chuck Norris was a tough guy or he was a badass or whatever. And I was just like, you know what, dude, Jet Li would fuck up Chuck Norris. And I said, you know what, I think Jet Li should really fuck up Chuck Norris, like in real life. Like he should call him out. And I said, and Jimmy was making fun of me. He's like, why is everything violent with you? And I go, what do you mean everything? Because everything is violence. That's what it gets down to. Basically, my point was Jet Li should call out Chuck Norris because Chuck Norris pretends to be tough. Well, Jet Li really is tough and can handle himself. So and look, Chuck Norris used to be tough, but now he's like 80. So it's like, you're not tough anymore, dude. So I said Jet Li should be able to find Chuck Norris and challenge him to a fight and beat him up in front of everybody. And then Chuck Norris would no longer be this tough guy anymore. And the scenario I pointed out, I was like, what? I go, dude. And I was trying to get Jimmy on board with it. I go, listen to me. All right, Chuck Norris is at Fridays and he's eating a salad. And Jet Li pulls up in a car, and he's wearing the Game of Death tracksuit. He's got the yellow and black tracksuit. And he gets out of his car, and he points in the window, and he just fucking gives the fucking Bruce Lee hand wave and calls Chuck Norris out and beats the shit out of him in front of everybody. That's not an awesome fucking story? That's not the greatest thing that ever happened if you see it happen? And Jimmy's just like, I know, not for me at all. Like, Jimmy was not on board. He was completely uninterested in it. And I'm just like, you could not be more wrong. Look, I'll watch two idiots fight, let alone Jet Li and Chuck Norris fight. And by the way, I will watch them fight. I don't want to be involved in any fights anymore. I got no interest in fighting anybody or hitting anybody. I was talking to somebody at my work, and because they found out that I used to bounce. And now they always want to hear these bouncer stories, and they want to hear all the shit I've told you guys. And I told them that I used to be called 454 at my work. And they were like, what? And they go, what? And I said that on here before. I made the mistake of telling them that was my fucking nickname. So now they call me that. I'm like, fuck. I go, I'm old, man. I'm 50. I don't want to hit anybody ever. I don't want to get near anyone. I don't want to, because this, you know what, this just fucking happened. I don't ever want anything bad to happen to Jill. Ever. I know I can't control that, but I want to. I want to control the world in a way to where nothing bad ever happens to her. I love her, and I want to keep her safe forever. Which is why I say I want to just put her in plastic wrap or in a bubble or in a snow globe and carry her around in my pocket. I don't ever want... No one else gets to talk to her. No one else gets to see her. No one else gets to look at her. No one else gets to shake her hand or come near her. I don't want them near her because bad things could happen. Someone could breathe. There could be a germ, and she could all of a sudden die. I don't want that to happen. I'm happy. It's a tenuous happiness. It's certainly a tentative happiness, but it's a happiness nonetheless. And it's a happiness I'd like to have continue, so nothing can happen to her, ever. Keep that in mind, folks. If you see her, keep her safe. Hand her money. Do something. Tell her to stay out of the sun. Tell her not to get a cancerous mole. I don't want any bad things ever. Tell her she's got to keep her diet healthy, and she's got to sleep well, because she's got to be around to keep me happy for the rest of my life. And I know that sounds like a selfish thing, but I want to keep her happy for the rest of her life as well, as long as that involves her never speaking to anyone or interacting with anyone else besides me ever again for the rest of her life. All right, so I don't want that to happen. And she and I are learning about one another and trying to figure out who, we are. And I'll tell you, I got to tell you this fucking story. This made me laugh. Last week I was at her place, and she came in and she had listened to the show at work, and she's like, honey, I gotta talk to you about something. I said, what? And she said, well, honey, you make me sound so bad sometimes on the show. I go, what are you talking about? I go, you're like the fucking hero of this show. And she's like, no. She goes, well, you said this thing this week. You said that I bruised you up. And I said, well, yeah. She goes, yeah, but the way you said it. I go, what do you mean the way I said it? And she goes, well, you made it sound like I'm beating you up. And I said, honey, do you think anyone in their right mind thinks that you're slapping me around? Check that. Honey, do you think anybody in their right mind thinks that you're slapping me around and I don't like it? She goes, yeah, but the way you said it. And I go, well, what did I don't even know what I fucking said. And she goes, well, you said that I had bruised you up. And then you went, well, yeah, that's another thing. I don't want to go into that. And it sounded like I had beaten you up or something. I said, well, no, I just didn't know if you wanted me to say exactly how you had bruised me up.
Oh, shit.
And she goes, well, no, but it just sounded. I go, well, I'll cover. You know what? I'll fix it on next week's show. She goes, well, you don't have to fix it. I just don't want anybody to think that I like I hit you or something. And I go, no. I said, I'm happy to tell everybody you were biting me if that's what you want. I mean, that you chewed on my neck and my chest until there were visible marks for days and days. I'll be happy to go ahead and tell everybody that story. She's like, oh, honey, that's terrible. I said, well, do you really? I mean, nobody thinks that you beat me up. And even if they did, so fucking what? I don't care. That's one ass whooping I'm going to have to take. She goes, but you call me Can't Fight Jill, and you say that I bruised you up, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who thinks, and I go, so what? That person's a fucking idiot. We don't care about that person. If there's one person out there who thinks, I'm worried about Mike's safety. I think that 5 foot something else, 98-pound girlfriend of his from Milwaukee is making him come to town and then slapping the shit out of him. Yes. Yeah. That's happening. I fucking love it. Stop me. I'll show you the photos. But it made me laugh. She was like, because she genuinely felt that. She's like, oh no, people are going to think I'm so mean. And I'm like, nobody's going to think that at all.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just say the words, she only hits me because she loves me?
Yeah, she bruises me up. But she only hits me because she loves me.
Oh my god, this is so not funny, but it's hysterical.
She only bites me because she loves me. She only bites me really fucking hard because she loves me. And because I asked her to. She worries about the weirdest things. Like, it just made me laugh. She's like, oh yeah, I think people are going to think that I'm a terrible person. I'm like, what are you talking about? My favorite part of it too is like 3 hours of the show is I literally put her on a sunbeam and I held her up to the Lord. And then but then I go, yeah, and then she bruised me up. And that's the one thing she extrapolates from the show. People think I beat you up. Yeah, they do.
She's so cute.
She's the best. It just cracks me up. And again, she's listened to me for 7 years. Doesn't like sarcasm, doesn't like being teased. Listen to me for 7 years.
I don't get it.
Kills me.
I'm glad it works, you know?
It's the fucking greatest.
Yeah.
But that thing where she just, oh my God, honey, people are going to think I'm terrible. You call me Catfight Jill, and you said you bruised me up. Well, you did bruise me up. Yeah, but you made it sound like I hit you. Well, you did, kind of. With your teeth. Your perfect fucking teeth. So we're finding out about one another in that context. And where I say to her, I don't, I'll get quiet. I'm not like this all the time. All right. This is podcast Mike. And I'm generally, this is me. I'm a fucking dope all the time, but sometimes I'm quiet. So we were in Vegas walking around and we were walking. I might've been quiet. We weren't really saying anything. And I was holding her hand and she'll look at me whenever I get quiet and she's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. She's like, all right, well, you seem different. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm having a good time. We're out walking on the street. And I can't make fun of everybody on the street at all times. I try, certainly. But but here's the thing about her, dude. She is the most perceptive. Like you always hear people say, well, I had a gut feeling. Dude, she's never wrong. Like it's crazy. She has gut feelings because again, there was nothing wrong with me. She was like, are you okay? I'm okay, but I'm not there. She knew I wasn't there. So she's wondering where I am. But in reality, I'm kind of still there. It's just my mind, I can't turn my brain off. So we were walking. It was the last day we were in Vegas and we were flying that afternoon. Well, we happened to be on the Strip and we had to be back at the Excalibur to get our bags by 3. And then we had to be in a cab by 3:30 because we had to get to the airport on time to fly. And all of that was going through my head because the last time I had flown Southwest out of Las Vegas, I actually stood in line so long that I met myself back at the end of it. That's how long.
Ooh, harsh.
It was like a line around the world because Southwest it's a flying bus and everybody flies it. And so the luggage line and the check-in line, all of it was fucking nightmarish. So I did not want to risk getting caught up in a fucking wash because she had to get back to Milwaukee and I had to go and I had to work the next day. I don't give a fuck about me. I just want to make sure she's safe and on the plane. So my brain was really kind of working overtime where I was in the moment with her, but at the same time, I was trying to figure out what we were going to do when we were going to get back to the hotel. But she picks up on it in a fucking instant. I mean, in an instant. And she's conditioned to think that something is wrong with me or something is this, and I'm like, no, nothing's wrong. It's just so then we finally sat down to get some lunch and she's just like, well, what's going on? It just seems like something's different. And I go, look, I have to talk to you about this right now. I said, honey, I love you, but I'm here, but I'm not here. I go, it's tough for me to turn my brain off and stop thinking about certain things. I go, so while we're walking and we're having fun, I'm also thinking about getting back to the hotel, getting our bags from the baggage guy, getting in a cab on time and getting to the airport on time and getting to the lines on time. Again, with Southwest, you got to line up and you got a fucking B or an A group and all that bullshit. I go, so that is going through my head right now. Because I can't turn the bees off because I'm constantly thinking about different things. Very rarely will I just be completely relaxed and not thinking about anything. I'm always thinking about something that's going on. I can't do this anymore. Are you going to fucking close that window, Chaplin? What are you doing? Oh my God.
It kept blowing open.
Yeah, I know. And then you kept standing up and pushing it and sitting down and it blew open and standing up.
Blocking me.
Oh my Christ. I didn't know Buster Keaton was recording my fucking podcast. Jesus God. Lock it, please, so we don't have this happen again.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's what I was trying to avoid.
I'm talking into a microphone, and she stands up, and she's bent over, and she's trying to close the damn window, and she's not even looking at me, and then it blew open like 3 times. She's been doing it. Go back and listen. She's been literally, since we fixed the sound, she's been up trying to close that window. That's how long it's been going on.
Stop it!
But I'm trying to talk, and again, she's the only one here, so I'm kind of talking to her ass as she's up, bent over, putting this fucking thing away, and she's wearing clothes for once. All right, so I don't turn my brain off. So I
know.
Yeah, no, well, exactly. I wish I could have there, but I can't. What are you doing? Is that a rattlesnake? Is that a rattlesnake?
No.
Don't move. Don't move.
It's a bottle of Advil. It's not a rattlesnake. We're all good.
Well, if that bottle of Advil bites me, you better be prepared to suck the poison out.
No.
I'll tell you what, that'll turn my brain off. Get built by a bottle of Advil. Built, bitten.
Milked.
Getting milked. Milked.
Oh my God, not again.
I don't want that rattlesnake to
Bring
milk
him.
me.
Don't bring him back. I don't like him.
He's great. I like him. You know, here's the weird thing. I started doing this at work.
Oh.
Nobody likes it. There's a server. I can't say her name because these people had not given the permission to use their names. And I started talking like that to her yesterday. And I was just like, hi. I said, what's going on? Was it dizzy today? Did you make any tits? And she's just staring at me like, what are you doing, you weirdo? I think it's weird. All right, so I tried to explain to Jill like that this is kind of who I am. You know, I mean, I'm always thinking about different things in my brain. But she's right on it. I mean, she's right on it. Because it happened at the pool. We were laying out at the pool, and you know, we went to the pool at the Excalibur, and when we went down there, like all the chairs were taken, and it was terrible, people. I mean, it was just bros and like douchebags and girls with nail fills. I mean, you know, just those people. You know what I'm talking about? And there's like 35 people in a hot tub with a Nerf football, you know what I mean, and a beer in each hand, and just we walked out, and I'm looking around. I didn't like that scene when I was part of it, you know what I mean? And now I'm old. So it turned out that the Excalibur had what they called the adult pool. You paid $10. And you got to go sit away from the douchebags. That's essentially what it was. It was a douchebag tax. You had to pay an anti-douchebag tax to go sit by the adult pool. And I looked at Jill, and she's just like, yeah, $10. And I go, I don't care. I go, I'm on vacation, and I do not want to be over here, and there's no chairs. We've already taken a lap looking for, because what it was is people would get the chairs and then throw a towel on it and then go sit in the hot tub for 2 hours with a beer. Like they just claimed the chair as their own, put their shoes on it, and they fucking disappear. You know, just people being dickbags. It's like when you go to a movie theater and when it doesn't have assigned seating anymore, and people run in and they claim a row of seats. Oh, I got 8 friends, they're coming. And I told you, I've been with Pat Francis, and he's gone, nope, and he's moved their coats, and we sat down, and he's like, oh man, my friends are coming. And he goes, I don't give a fuck, your friends aren't here. And Pat just look at me, and he's like, you got my back in this? I go, if we gotta fight, I'm in. You know what I mean? I didn't fucking care. Let's do this. Hold on, moving. So at the adult pool, we get over there, and there's like, you know, 7 people, because they, you know, that's how they make their $10, and people are like, yeah, I'll go over there. So we went and we laid out at the pool. We laid out for like 5 hours. It was awesome. And, you know, not being bothered, we were on Chase lounges, we're holding hands, we're listening to music, and it was just a really good time. So the next day we went out to the pool, and same thing. We walked, and I said, I'm just going to the adult pool. I don't care. $10, I'm in. So we go over to the adult pool, and this time it's a little more crowded. And we go and we lay down, we pull the chases into the sun, and there's a guy in the pool, and he's in the adult pool, and he has no business being there. I mean, certainly chronologically he's an adult, but mentally this guy is a fucking infant. I mean, he's got a beer in one hand, his shaved head, sunglasses, he's with another shaved head bro, and they're just talking to there's 3 girls in their chases, and he's like talking to them, and hey, babies, what are you guys doing out here? You know, babies. I'm like, oh, great. You fucking saw Swingers once. Good for you. Well, he's talking to these girls, and he keeps asking them where they're staying and what they're doing, and one of them's getting married, and he's like, well, you looking for a last fling? And he's talking to her friends. I mean, just every he is the quintessential douchebag. He's a terrible guy who just wants to be noticed. He's being loud. You know what I mean? He's talking loudly and just going, "Hey, man, turn the fucking music up!" Like all that shit. I can barely breathe. I'm actually on the chase, and there's a couple of reasons that this, whatever. I'm talking to Jill, you know, and he's doing his act in the pool. This is the kind of guy he is. Literally, he's talking to these three girls. And one of them gets up to go get a drink. And he's still in the pool talking, and the girl gets into the pool. And she's a ways away from him, and he turns around, and he's got, you know, his fucking sunglasses on. And he goes, whoa. He goes, you're in the pool, huh? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, I knew you were, because all of a sudden the water got warmer from that direction. Like, he's that guy. And she's just like, oh, tee-hee. And I was like, well, I don't know why you're in an Archie comic, but good for you. So I'm there with Jill, and I hear him doing all this. And Jill's talking to me, I should say. She's wearing sunglasses and I'm wearing sunglasses, and I know I was listening to her, but I was distracted by two different things, and I will tell you what they are. And you will laugh at me, but that's fine. But we're having a conversation, and she's talking, and I'm listening, but I'm doing more nodding. I'm kind of there, but I'm not there, because, like I said, my head moves in different directions. It moves in different ways, and that's rude. You know, if you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, to be drifting away is absolutely rude. But it's kind of, I keep a lot of balls juggling, and at the same time, I was worried about two different things, and here they are. Two things. One, that guy wouldn't stop, and he was being loud, and he was swearing, and he was talking to everybody. He actually turns around at one point, and there's a waitress who's coming out with poolside service, and he throws his beer bottle at her. I'm not even kidding. She's not looking. And it's not a bottle. It's one of those aluminum, you know, those tall boy Coors Light things.
Oh, horrible, yeah.
He just throws it in the air like a basketball player, and it lands in front of her. Gung, 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 and makes a noise. And he goes, you're supposed to catch that. Come on. Like all of a sudden we're all having fun, and everybody throws a beer at a waitress from the fucking pool. And she just makes a face, and she picks it up. And Jill's just like, he just threw a beer. And I go, I saw it. And she goes, he just threw his beer at the waitress. And I go, and she goes, God, I want to punch him in the face. And I go, so do I. And I'm, you know, this is, as we're talking, I'm distracted by him. But also I will tell you this, Jill's talking to me, and she has her sunglasses on, and I can see myself in her sunglasses, and I don't have a shirt on. And I'm still weird about being out at a pool and stuff with my shirt off, because I'm still a big fat dude in my head. I'm not like I used to be. I'm still a big dude. And it was distracting because I could see myself in her sunglasses, and I felt really weirdly naked at that moment, because I saw myself in her sunglasses, and I did not like the way I looked, and I was like, Jesus, do I look like that? And it started to kind of twist my head a little bit, in addition to me going, oh, by the way, I don't have a shirt on, and I'm going to have to fight that fucking guy with no fucking shirt on, because he's a fucking jagoff, and he won't shut the fuck up, because that's where my head goes. My head is like, because I've seen, and so Jill finally goes, hey, are you listening to me? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she goes, no, you're not. You're not listening to me at all. I go, no, I'm listening, honey. We were talking about that. And she goes, no, it's okay. I mean, she's like, if I'm bothering you, and I go, honey, because we're the same person. I do the same fucking thing. If I'm talking to somebody and they kind of like get distracted, I'm like, hey, me, right here, me, I'm important. Check me out. I'm awesome. Listen to me, motherfucker, because I'm the one doing all the talking. I'm the one you should be listening to, because I'm great. Now, I'm not saying she's doing that, but also at the same time, when the man that she loves is kind of just giving her that blank stare and not really paying attention to her, she picked up on it right away, and she ran with it. She's just like, well, you know, if you don't want to listen. And I go, honey, stop. And so then I keep revealing nuggets of who I am to her, periodically, because I have to explain to her, this isn't about you, it's about me. Like, that seems to be our whole conversation, because I'll be like, look, dude, honey, it's not you. And I go, listen, all right, let me explain this. And I go, right now, I just saw myself in your sunglasses, and I'm not too fond of what I just saw, and it distracted me. I apologize, but that's fucking what happened. And so, yeah, I got a little thrown. I go, but also, I'm freaked out about this dude in the pool. She goes, yeah, I hate him. He's terrible. And I go, yeah, but you can hate him. I'm going to have to hit him. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, you don't understand. I go, I've dealt my entire adult life with that guy. in different situations. I know exactly who he is, and I know I'm going to have to deal with him here, and I'm not going to like it, and it's going to be bad. She goes, well, honey, no, he's he's not talking to us. And I go, but he will. I said, I guarantee you, at some point, I go, here's who this guy is. I go, I'm telling you right now who this fucking guy is, and this is why I'm preparing myself for the fucking confrontation. I bounced. I've seen this guy a billion fucking times, and what he's going to do is he's going to pretend he's having a good time, so everybody should be having a good time the way he thinks they should be having a good time. He's going to swim up to people and like smack them hard on the back, and he's going to grab somebody by the neck, and he's going to order another beer, and he's going to chug it and then spill beer in the pool, and he's just going to do terrible things, and everybody's just going to go, that's okay, great, he's having a good time, because nobody wants to confront him, because I will tell you this, all he wants is for somebody here to confront him.
Yep.
Because he wants to fight them. I guarantee you, he's going to do this to everybody. He's going to go up to him and go, hey, bro, hey, fucking Vegas, and high five, and he's going to shake hands with people who don't want to shake their hand, and he's going to fucking, like I said, he's going to put his arm around somebody and go, hey, buddy, and it's just inappropriate closeness, inappropriate touching, because he thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and everybody should just go ahead and let him do what the fuck he wants, and he's going to try to get away with it the entire fucking time, and I guarantee you, the first person that he goes up to and he says, hey, bro, Vegas. And they're going to go, hey, we're good. And he's going to go, well, no, man, what's your name? And he's going to go, we're just relaxing at the pool. That's the guy he's going to want to fight. Because he'll immediately start with oh, well, I guess you're a tight ass, man. Well, whatever. We're just having fucking fun at Vegas at the pool. If you were such a tight ass, why are you fucking coming out here, man? We're supposed to have fucking fun out here. And I said, I also guarantee you this. He will find a guy who's alone with his girlfriend. And I'm alone with my girlfriend, and I know I'm going to be the guy. I said, the only advantage I have is I'm as big as him or bigger. He's going to find a small guy to do it to because he knows the small guy won't fight him, and he'll be able to bully him and pick on him and get him out of the game, because that's all this guy is a bully. And Jill's just sitting there, like, look, because I spit all of that out. And she just goes, oh. So I was like, that's what's in my head right now. I was listening to you, and I love you, but I'm waiting for disaster. That's it. I'm flirting with disaster. I'm Molly Hatchet right now. That's all I'm doing, because this douchebag is a human countdown. And I just, every time it was Mother here, 10, 9, because I know. And there's people around here that he could pick on or go up to and talk to. And he's talking to every girl. He's talking to every girl no matter whether they have a boyfriend or they don't, because then he talks to the girl, and if the guy says, what are you doing? He's like, hey, bro, come on, man. We're just having a good time. Like, it's that. But he can talk to the girl. And then, because then he was talking to those 3 girls, and then their boyfriends came, and he stopped talking to them until the boyfriends went to get a beer, and then he'd start talking to them again. It was just all, literally everything you ever hated about men is involved in this fucking guy. And so I told her, I'm just here waiting. And then she's like, well, do you want to go in the pool? And I'm like, yeah, but he's going to talk to us, and then it's going to be bad. She's like, honey, just relax. We're having a good time. And I go, I know we're having a good time, until he comes up and says that, it's like, because and it's my fault in wanting to protect her or keep her from this. She can handle herself. I've seen her shove a dude into a fucking fence. I mean, Catfight Jill can handle herself. We know that. She bruised me up. She slapped the shit out of me, for fuck's sake. But I don't care. I don't even want him near her fucking solar system. I don't want him in her where she can breathe, anything. And he's doing shit like, it's a 3.5 foot pool. He cannonballs into it and splashes like all these people around. And then he gets out of the water and he's like, yeah, 10.0, like all that horse shit. And I couldn't enjoy a moment. I couldn't enjoy anything because I'm just waiting. We're laying there and we didn't go in the pool yet. And he's there. I fell asleep. We both did. And then I wake up and he's still there and he's being loud and he's being a fucking dickbag. And sure enough, I'm not kidding you. I heard him say it and I looked at Jill. He's by the pool and there's people just relaxing. They're doing nothing. And he just goes, man, it's too quiet out here. We should fucking start something. That's what he said. That's the mentality of the guy that I'm dealing with. It's so quiet out here. People are having such a good time and it's so peaceful that people are relaxing. We should fucking start something. And again, I've known those dudes my entire life. Fuck, look, I'm a guy who threw cherry tomatoes at a graduation party. I might have been that dude for a while. I get it. But at 50, I don't want to deal with that dude anymore. I don't want him to come up and talk to my girlfriend. I don't want him to come talk to me. I don't want to have to pretend that I like him because I won't. That's the problem. I won't, and then he'll fucking call me on it. And look, then we're in a naked fist fight. And nobody likes naked fist fight, right? Nobody. 6-1. But yeah, so I explained to her why I couldn't relax and she's like, well, I hate him too. And I'm like, well, I know you hate him too. I'm not saying you like him, but at the same time, that's who I am. And that's where my head is at. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to have a good time and just relax. But my brain works differently than yours and than maybe kind of anybody's, you know what I mean? It's just that fucking thing where I should be on Adderall or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. But she finally was like, I love you. And she understood, which was good. And then thankfully the guy didn't fucking talk to us at all. Like I fell asleep and I woke up and he was gone. But he was but then 3 more drunks took his place. And she and I we had avoided the hot tub the entire time. Then we get into the hot tub and these 3 dudes were in the pool and they were so drunk. They had their own cabana. We get in the pool. I'm not kidding you. We get in the hot tub. 5 minutes later, they go, hey, and they climb in the fucking hot tub. And the one dude gets out and he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. And he went barefoot. He walked barefoot to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, you vomitous individual. You are terrible, a horrible person. Why are you here? And then he comes back and he's carrying a cup of dip spit. He and his friend have dips in and they bring it into the hot tub. Drunk guys holding a cup, passing it back and forth, spitting tobacco into the cup. And I looked at Jill and she goes, he has a cup of tobacco spit. I go, let's get out. Because if he drops that in here, I will not stop murdering everybody. Like I will kill them and then kill myself just so I can beat them up in heaven. I mean, honestly, I don't. That's how badly I would want to hurt them. If they go there, if there is one, I don't fucking know. All I know is I would beat them to death here and then kill myself so I could meet them wherever the fuck they're going. And we got it. And look, we had an amazing time. It was great, but it's like I'm trying to relax and let go of being me, which is weird, or at least change who I am. I mean, we talked about this. This is what it's been. It's been upheaval and trying to learn and relearn behaviors and unlearn other behaviors. Because I have abandonment stuff, and so I don't want her to go away. I don't. That's the truth. And you know what's funny? She has the same thing. And she and I both. I've said to her, I go, look, we should just spend time enjoying what we have and not worrying about what we're not going to have. I tell her all the time, I say, we should just be happy. We shouldn't spend our entire time with our defenses up and wondering what the other person's going to do and if they're going to leave and what they said and if they said the wrong thing. And we should just realize that everything is so fragile. And how lucky are we? How lucky are we that we found each other and are going to spend the rest of our lives together? People don't get that chance. I look at her and I say, how amazing is it that we've discovered each other? And I will tell you this, this is strange probably, and I don't know if you've ever felt this, but she is someone I regret not having her youth, like her being young. I regret not being there when she was in high school. We were on the beach and the song Kaylee by Marillion played on her iPod. She goes, oh my God, Marillion, I've loved them my whole life. And I heard Kaylee and I heard it differently than I've ever heard it before in my life. And I almost started to cry on the beach, and I actually did. I won't lie, because I pictured 16-year-old Jill in a baby doll shirt and shorts sitting on her bed singing along to that with her headphones on. And I miss that. And it depresses me. It makes me disappointed. And I don't want to miss another moment. I want to make up for missing the first half of her life by spending the next 50 years together. And I tell her that. I go, the next 50 years is us. The next 50 years, we are together. We are happy. And let's just be happy. And it's so fragile. It goes away. Will you take my hand and will you be happy with me? And she said, yeah, I will. And then she punched me right in the fucking face. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the music for this show. You can find him at Facebook.com/DavidMaxHernandez. And you can find him at ArtByDMH.com if you want to commission him to do some artwork for you or see previous artwork he has done. You can go and find him at Art by DMH, ARTBYDMH.com. Check out his work. Hire him to do some other work for you. He works in oils. He works in watercolors. He works in paint. That'll tell you as much as I know about art. I was able to say oils and watercolors and paint. I accepted it as if paint were not one of those two things. Go to artbydmh.com and hire our friend David to do all of your painting and interesting portfolio type stuff that you would want done because he's amazing. Our friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. I'm a great fan and a huge friend, or a huge fan and a great friend. You can look at it either way. When you're with Lily, adjectives are interchangeable. You can find her at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, and twitter.com/MNTs. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out how hard it is to talk to Japanese people when you're having to look up their responses in Google Translate.
It's been rough.
Yes. 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 You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili. Yes. 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 At burlesque411.com.
Ground control to Major Schmidt. Ground control to Major Schmidt. Pull your hoodie tight and put your earbuds in. Ground control to Major Schmidt. You missed your Tool song, fuck that shit. 3, 2, leave your armrest up and try to get some sleep. This is ground control to Major Schmidt. You've really hit the hay. When you dream, do you have a full head of hair? Now it's time to leave reality if you dare. This is Major Schmidt to ground control. I'm punching through a door. And I'm dreaming in a most peculiar way. And Margaret wants to join me in my three-way. For here am I sitting in my own chair. Known around the world. Famous and wealthy, and no graveyard bill for me.
Hold up, David, hold on. What is it? He's sleeping. Who? Mike, look at him, he's asleep. Oh, he is. Can we start playing then? I've got like a wicked crap in my hand.
But what if he wakes up?
He ain't gonna wake up, look at him. He ain't slept in like 3 days.
What do you want to do then?
Well, I'd like to see if Aunt Margaret actually shows up, you know. Oh, here comes the stew, man, here comes... You better start singing, David, start singing.
I don't remember. We're in space, man!
Sing!
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It is the most successful burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. It is certainly the hottest and sexiest, and it also has the tacoiest truckist next to it. The truckiest tacos, I guess you would say. I don't know, are they there yet for the summer? Have they shown up? Taco truck, yeah, they're there. They're serving food and barrels of pickled onions. Oh, I'm a fan. I would hide in one. I don't want to even eat it. I want to climb in and hide it. I tell you what, If Butch goes to China, I want a big fat podcaster hiding in a bowl of pickled onions to jump out and fucking put a cap in his ass. That's what I want. Hey, Lily. Hi, that's Lily Von Ship. She's the producer of that show that I
Hi,
just talked
Michael.
about. How you doing?
Good.
I wonder if you're louder now. I don't know. We got to listen back. You'll listen and you'll know. How's the Monday Night Teas going? How are things over there?
Very well. Had a great show on Monday. We got Meat Fest coming up next Monday. It's all good.
I cannot wait to skip that. So I'm sorry I missed this week's show. How amazing was this week's show? I know that there were some incredible performers.
Fantastic. We had Bella LeBlanc in. She did a great Regina act from Once Upon a Time.
Is she related to Mel LeBlanc?
No.
All right. And keep going. Tell me who else
She's
is there.
the daughter of Karen Summers.
Ooh. I think I talked about her on here
Yeah.
before.
So they were both at the show. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. Terrific. And it sounds like it was an amazing night.
It really was.
Certainly an
It was
enchanted
awesome.
night.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was enchanted. It was an accidental Disney show. We didn't realize it, but I had 4 different Disney acts.
Nice.
Yeah.
There is some sort of, because I just said the taco trucks were back for summer, and it sounds like Karen Summer was back for the taco truck.
Oh.
And it sounds like Karen Summer may have brought her taco and put it on a truck, quite frankly.
Not at all.
Well, that sounds great. And so Meat Fest is next week?
Yes.
Oh, who's going to be there?
We got the men of Dirty Little Secrets Burlesque out of San Diego are coming up. Little Ralphie's performing. Rob the Balloon Guy's performing. Viper Sinville's performing. It's going to be a great show.
So Viper Symbol's a dude?
Yeah.
Really?
He's a dude with a giant snake.
Okay.
An actual snake. I don't know what you're thinking.
You got me. Well, good. So that's going to be fantastic. Meat Fest tickets are available. All tickets are available for the Monday Night Teas. If you go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas, you'll find out about all of the acts that are coming to town, all of the acts that have been here before. Perhaps you'll get a peek at Viper Sinville's snake. And also, if you go to brownpapertickets.com, you will go ahead and put in Lily Von Stup's name or brown paper tickets. Or no, you don't put that in. You'll find them. It's like, that'll be terrible. It'll be like a Mobius strip. But you can put in Monday Night Teas and get
Which
all.
is happening on the 27th.
A Mobius strip will be there, so it should be a good show.
On the 27th is the Mobius strip.
So Lily Von Stupp, put in her name or put in Monday Night Teas and get tickets for all of the upcoming shows. Do you have individual things you'd like to plug that you've got coming up?
No.
Not yet.
Yes, the Hollywood Burlesque Festival is happening August 14th to the 17th. Tickets will go on sale May 15th, I think.
Are auditions open to people?
It is currently open if you would like to apply.
They should go to HollywoodBurlesqueFest.com.
HollywoodBurlesqueFestival.com.
HollywoodBurlesqueFestival.com. And if you want to submit an act to be involved, you can do a burlesque act. Are you taking variety acts this year?
We are.
Go ahead and submit yourself and get involved in the Hollywood Burlesque Festival and buy tickets for it because it's an amazing event. It's 3 days. They'll crown the new Mr. and Mrs. Hollywood
4
Burlesque.
days, and we'll be crowning 7 people.
Oh my God, so many people. 7 people over 4
Possibly
days.
more because there's a group category.
Sounds like there's almost 2 people a day to be crowned.
Almost.
Almost. I'm good at math. So go ahead and pick up
Except
tickets for
we
that.
do all of the crowning on one day.
I'll
Just
be
to
honest
make
with
it
you.
complicated.
I don't ever want to see a burlesque dancer crowning. I'm going to be honest with you. That sounds like an act I'm going to avoid. And you'll need to mop and certainly need to clean up after. So, folks, the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. Congratulations, Lily. That's fantastic that it's coming up.
Awesome.
And it's in the summer this time instead of a December event, so that's good.
Yes.
I think it's better to have it in the summer. The weather's better, it's warmer, and less clothing. And we're all on board with that. Although it's a burlesque festival, I guess there's going to be less clothing anyway.
Yeah.
So go to HollywoodBurlesqueFestival.com for all of the information and to submit your acts if you'd like to be involved in any sort of way, shape, or form. And it's going to be great. Congratulations to Lily again for doing that. Please remember, like I said, our friend Ryan Dirks does all of the web stuff for the show. You can go to Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks and be his friend, or go to RyanDirks.littleprofiles.com, or is it RyanDirks/littleprofiles.com? Try them both. Go ahead and check them both out. I'll learn that eventually. It's only been 8 weeks. Our friend David, as I've mentioned, is at artbydmh.com. Want to remind you that you can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. We got all sorts of stuff there for you. First of all, if you'd like to donate to the show, you can donate on any page of the website. Click on Little Schmitty, fill his pockets up with lucre. But if you'd like to go to the Joe Business page, there's a donation link down by Hobo Schmitty down there on the floor. We have Tweaked Audio, our relationship with them. We've got the Big Angry CD is available. We've got Dirt shirts available. Our friend Dylan just bought a shirt, so I'll be sending him one in the next couple of days. Thank you, Dylan, for picking that up. We also have downloads available, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and year 6 of this podcast available individually or as part of the Reservoir Schmidt Dogs box set, which I just sent out to a friend of ours, a friend of the show, just yesterday. As a matter of fact, the entire Reservoir Dogs, Schmidt Dogs box set is gone out. We've got the Schmidt Alive 2 Download is available. That's video and audio, a companion piece. Go ahead and take it on the road with you or watch it in your house and see me jump around and break a chair. It's always fun. And then, of course, we have our deal with Amazon.com. Amazon.com is our friend. Go ahead and click through that, get to our store, and then click through to the actual Amazon. Anything you buy, we get credit for. Thank you so much for thinking of us. We do appreciate it very much. And that's it. CDs and shirts and Tweaked and all of those things are available at the Joe Business page. And go look for the artwork that Mex created because it's fucking awesome. And he's the best. And then read the hover text that I wrote that nobody cares about. But still, it's there. And I wanted to tell you, if you go to brownpapertickets.com and you put in my name, you're going to find out that the Unleash the Beast tour kicks off in Phoenix. Are there other dates yet? No. But I can tell you this. I'll be in Phoenix. Have I mentioned that? That's May 16th. That's a Saturday. May 16th. And I will be there. I will be excited to be there. Come on out and check out the show. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It's going to be a lot of me talking on stage, and hopefully you'll be there to see it. I know I've sold 2 tickets so far. That's right, 2 tickets. In 3 weeks. It would be great if you guys stepped up and bought some tickets. It's a small venue. And come and see me. That would be cool. But I know I'll be there. And if nothing else, I know that Jill and I will be able to go out to a nice dinner with my friend Larry and his wife. So that'll be good. Right now I've got that covered in Phoenix. If I sell not one more ticket, I know I'm having a double date with my friend Larry. So that's good news. So go ahead and pick up those tickets. And that's at brownpapertickets.com. Put in my name or put in 40-year-old boy, and that will come up. That's all the hashtag, keyword, tag words, and all that stuff. And next week I'm on a plane. There will be a show. I just don't know if it's going to be a me show with a phone or me and Lily. I don't know. We'll figure it out. She and I got some talking to do. We were in Vegas. I talked a little bit about Vegas this week. I talked about it 2 weeks ago, and then I got interrupted by talking about Van Halen. I forgot to tell you this story. So Jill and I are in this suite, and it's it's her birthday, and I got her roses, and it was fantastic. And then there was a panoramic suite. So when we got in, we were opening the blackout shades, and that was the whole point. I just wanted everything open. I wanted to look out on the city, and more importantly, I wanted the city to look in on us because you know what? We're here, and you should be ready for us because why not? We're in town. So we wind up in the morning. We had a long night, and then we slept, and then we wake up in the morning, and I'm in bed with Jill, and I don't stop. I'll just go ahead and say that. So things happen. And, I don't know, I forget how long it was, but things are going on, and I don't need to fill in the blanks here, but, let's put it this way. I was filling in the blanks. All right, so. And she said, honey, that's terrible. And I said, well, I mean, honestly, this is your fault. She said, what do you mean it's my fault? I said, well, from my vantage point, I couldn't exactly see the window. So, I mean, there's like covers on the floor and pillows all over, and I think we knocked over a lamp. I mean, it was fun. And so, and the strip was there, and it was daytime, and it was just gorgeous, and she looked amazing. Just so good. And then I was like, well, are we going to take a bath? Let's take a bath. And so we did. We ran a bath, and then we hopped in the bath together. I actually put a picture of it up. And as we're in the bath, we look outside, and we can see ropes. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because we had heard noises, like there was water running outside on the window, and it wasn't raining. We didn't know what was going on, and we had heard like stuff. There was like scratching, like kind of squeaking, but then we just fucking kind of got into it and didn't notice anything. So we're in the bathtub, and we see ropes, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And so I look out, and it's window washers. They are like on the floor beneath us, or 2 floors beneath us, and I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. It's fucking window washers. And she's like, what? And I go, yeah. They go, they're on their way up. And she goes, well, what are we gonna do? And I go, we're gonna fucking sit here, and they can peek in at us, and I will wave at them from the fucking bathtub. This is awesome. And she's like, I can't. Are you kidding me? We can't do that. I go, no. Like, you're hot. People should see you. You should be naked all the time. She's like, shut up. And I go, all right, whatever. Tell me what we're gonna. I go, well, I'm not getting out of the tub. I go, we'll hang out, and when we see like a yellow hard hat, we'll fucking close a shade or throw a towel on you. We'll figure it out. So we're in the bathtub, and we're relaxing, and they're not coming up. And, we're relaxing, and they're not coming up. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are they doing? How diligent are they about cleaning the windows, for fuck's sake? And so finally, they outlasted us. I'm like, well, fuck, now we're getting out of the tub because we had to get ready to pack and get out of town. So I get up, and I look out the window, and they're a couple floors lower. They've already washed our windows. they were at our windows when we were in bed. We didn't notice them. I'm going to assume they noticed us. And I looked at her and I go, they're going down. And she goes, what? And I go, they're going down. And she goes, well, what does that mean? And I go, that means they were here when I was going down earlier. She goes, honey, you're kidding. And I said, no, I'm not. That's fucking awesome, right? I'm like, oh my God. And I go, what? No, it's fine. It's okay. I'm sure it was dark in here, or I was on top of you and nobody could see anything, right? Literally, this show starts as a tiny snowball, and at the end, the hundreds are dead at the bottom of a ravine. I mean, I get that. Believe me, if there's any show in the history of the world that does not need to be transcribed for posterity, it's this one. I like times. I like when nobody can see the seams. I like when I'm able to kind of just, fly with the bees wherever. When I have to actually stop the bees and ask for directions, that's not fun. I just like unleashing the bees, but when the bees have to stop in mid-flight and we all just kind of look at each other and bust out a fucking map, that's not fun at all. I want to saddle up these bees and ride, goddammit! I'm done.